Macmillan Audio presents The 33 by Héctor Tobar. Read for you by Henry Leyva.
Prologue. Cities in the Desert. The San José mine is located inside a round, rocky, and lifeless mountain in the Atacama Desert in Chile. Wind is slowly eroding the surface of the mountain into a fine grayish-orange powder that flows downhill and gathers in pools and dunes. The sky above the mine is azure and empty, allowing an unimpeded sun to bake the moisture from the soil. Only once every dozen years or so does a storm system worthy of the name sweep across the desert to drop rain on the San José property. The dust is then transformed into mud, as thick as freshly poured concrete. Few sightseers visit this corner of the Atacama, though the naturalist Charles Darwin did pass nearby, briefly, during his 19th century journey around the world on a Royal Navy research vessel. The locals told him scientifically implausible stories that link the rare rains to earthquakes. The vastness of Atacama and the absence of animal life surprised Darwin, and in his journal he described the desert as a barrier far worse than the most turbulent ocean. Even today, birders who pass through this part of Chile note that there are few, if any, avian species to be found. In the deeper desert, the only conspicuous living presence is of mining men and the occasional woman riding in trucks and minibuses to the mountains where there is gold, copper, and iron to be extracted. The wealth of minerals under the barren hills draws workers to the Atacama mines from the nearby city of Copiapó and from many other distant corners of Chile. Juan Carlos Aguilar travels the farthest to reach the San José, more than 1,000 miles. The shape of Chile on a map is that of a snake, and Aguilar's trek to work takes him along half the snake's body. His weekly commute begins in the temperate rainforests of southern Chile. At the mine, he supervises a team of 3 men who repair front loaders and the squat, long-armed, insect-like vehicles known as jumbos during a 7-day shift that begins on Thursday morning. But his ride to work starts 36 hours earlier on Tuesday evening in the town of Los Lagos. No local job pays as well as his gig in the desert, so he settles his weary, middle-aged body into a Pullman bus and watches as the shadows of beech forests, eucalyptus tree farms, and mountain rivers pass by his window. The weather matches his mood. The sky is overcast and raindrops beat on the windows, as they usually do when he sets out for work. The average precipitation in the region of Chile he calls home, at the 40th parallel of the southern hemisphere, is 102 inches a year. One of the mechanics in the supervisor's 3-man crew lives somewhat closer to the mine. Raúl Bustos leaves for work from the port city of Talcahuano, near the 37th parallel. A tsunami struck Talcahuano 5 months earlier, triggered by an 8.8 magnitude earthquake. The disaster killed more than 500 people, left the city covered with pools of ocean water in which thousands of fish flopped about, and washed out the Navy base where he used to work. Bustos is a punctilious father of 2 and devoted husband. He boards a bus heading northward, then travels along a flat landscape filled with greenhouses, tractors, and the fallow and cultivated fields of Chile's agricultural heartland. He passes through the town of Chillán, where another member of Aguilar's crew begins his own journey northward, and then through Talca, where a tall and devoutly Christian jumbo operator boards yet another bus. The men who work inside the San...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?